In this video, I'm going to show you how to draw in one-point perspective. So before we get started, it's really important to point out a few things that are really important when we're drawing in one-point perspective. One thing is the horizon line. The horizon line is where the sky meets the ground in your picture. So you need a horizontal line that goes across for your horizon line. You will also need a vanishing point. That is just a point that you place on the line that it looks like everything's kind of converging into as it goes back into space. You'll also see that you have parallel lines, which are lines that will never intersect, and they're in the same position. And I have receding lines. Those are the lines that look like they're going back into space, and they always are going to line up with that vanishing point. So, what I'm going to do to begin is I'm going to start by making a horizon line with my ruler. All right, I have my horizon line. Now I'm going to add a vanishing point just anywhere. So there's that. Now, I want to make a city streetscape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ruler all the way at that vanishing point, and I'm going to draw two lines coming forward. And this is going to be my street. So if I wanted to go and put some dashed lines to make it look a little bit more like a street, I could do that too. You'll notice that when they're further back, they're really short and closer together. And when they come up closer, they get a little bit longer and they're a little bit more spread apart. So now I want to start making my buildings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the shape of the side of the building. So I want this one to start all the way down here. So I'm going to make a rectangle shape. Now, this is the face of the building. So if you were to look in here, it's the same thing as this right here. So now I want it to look like it's going back into space. So I'm going to put my pencil on that vanishing point and then put my ruler up to it and angle it until I'm sure that I have a nice line from the vanishing point all the way to my shape. And I'm just going to take that all the way back. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same thing on this corner too. I'm taking it, going all the way back. Now, it kind of looks like this building is going all the way back to that point, and I didn't want it to look like it's going on forever. So now I have to make some parallel lines. So I'm lining up my ruler with this first straight line right here, and I'm just scooting it over to the left. And I'm going to then draw another line. You can see that these two lines are parallel to each other, that I did not change the angle. To do the top of the building, it's the same thing. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to scoot this up without changing the angle and drawing a parallel line. Now, you have extra receding line back here. You can just take your eraser and erase that little bit off. Now, this is a pretty boring looking building, so I want to add a door. To do that, I know it's going to be on the front here. I have to do my straight line. And now the door needs to look like it's going back into space with the building. So in order to do that, I need it going back towards that vanishing point. So I'm scooting it over like that, lining this up and scooting it over and making a parallel line. So then it looks like the door is actually sitting on the building. Okay. Now, how about on the other side? I want to add a sidewalk because I want people to be able to walk around in this little city. So I'm going to go back to my vanishing point over here. And I'm going to make it about that wide. Okay, so now you can see where I'm going to be building my sidewalk. Now I need to make the horizontal lines that make them look like individual tiles. So just like we did the road, when we start in the back, they're going to be really close together and kind of short looking. And as I move forward, they're going to get a little bit more spread apart. That's going to give the illusion of that space coming closer to us because now it's getting bigger. Okay. And if you want to add a curb, you're doing basically the same thing. Do it this way so that you can see. I'm just going to make a really, really close line that's really close to the side. So then it looks like it has a little bit of height to it. Now, if I want to make a building that is taller than the horizon line, it's going to be a little bit different than this one where you can see the roof. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to start once again by making my face of the building, and that's just going to be a rectangle. Okay. And since I can't see through my building, I'm going to erase that little bit of horizon line that you can see through the face of the building. And now I need to make my lines go back to my vanishing point. So I'm just using the corners that I can see can make a line to that vanishing point without running into anything else. So this one over here, if I was going to make a line, it would completely run through my building. So I know that's not going to work. So I'm going to go to the top, lining up with that vanishing point, making a line. To make this side of the building, the front side of it, I'm going to, again, just make a parallel line. Erase the parts that I do not need, like that the horizon line that's going through the building, and the receding line, that was a little bit extra there. Now, if you want a really good challenge and you want to make a sign that looks like it's standing either on the grass or on top of the building, I'm going to show you how to do that because it looks really cool. So let's say I want a sign that is on the top of this building. How about we do that? I'm going to make the side face of the sign. So it's going to be a pretty narrow rectangle because this is the side. I'm looking at it from the side, not face on. So I'm going to take the top of this, I'm going to line it up with that vanishing point, and I'm going to draw it down. I could have kept going. However, I know that I would have been erasing that because my sign doesn't reach all the way down over there. So I just went ahead and stopped there. Now I'm taking this line right here and I'm going to draw a parallel line over there to end the sign up there. Now, in this picture, I made it look like it was sitting on some type of like wooden stilt. So in this one, to do that, I'm going to have to show where the bottom of the sign is and kind of where the stilt begins. So to really highlight that, I'm going to shade that in. Okay. Now I need to go down here to the front, and I'm going to make another line that's going towards that vanishing point. So you can see, by the way, that this is angled on the roof of the building because it's such a sharp angle. You're not actually going to see the other stilt based on how high I made that side. So now I definitely see this side right here, but it looks a little bit strange because now this shape looks flat. So I'm going to make a parallel line right underneath there. That looks like it's now the front face of the shape. So this line is the face, the same side that this is. Now, that could be a sign that's on the rooftop over there. If I want to make one on the ground, it's basically the same thing. So I'm going to start, since I have space over here, and I'm going to make a narrow rectangle shape. And I'm going to draw some lines that are going back towards my vanishing point. So I'm doing them very lightly because I'm going to make a bunch of lines that I know I'm going to have to erase. I can also see this corner too, which could make a line, so I know that I need to draw that line as well, because that's going to be the little top part of my sign that goes back to space. And now I'm going to decide how far back I want it to go. So parallel line. In the same way that we did the top right over here, I'm taking this line right here, moving it back and making a parallel line so that those two lines meet. Now, this is where you're going to be able to see the stilts a little bit better. I'm going to make a line to show you how high it is. So again, that's going to be the stilt right there. And now I need to make the face of the sign look like it's going back into space. So I'm lining it up with my vanishing point and drawing that line. Looks pretty good so far. But now I want to see the front of this. So again, I'm making a parallel line so that it looks like it's the front of the sign. Shade that in for you. And I need to see the stilt over here now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a parallel line for the front of that shape. And I should be able to see the inside of it because of the angle that I'm looking at this from. So I'm going to put a line that is parallel with my horizon line. And it's going to go up. So if I wanted to shade in this, I could also go ahead and do that. And then erase that little extra bit of receding line right there that I didn't use. And that is how you can draw a cityscape.